So my name is Prashant Tandon. I am the founder and CEO of 1mg. We are based out of Gurgaon, India. So I think globally healthcare is seeing a massive change happen. Whether it's China, US, different parts of the world are finally seeing digital technologies change and come up with new models of healthcare. I think there's a great appreciation now that consumers are getting more and more involved in their healthcare and they want a better experience. And technology is making new things happen. So I'll give you an example of China, where the public health system has a lot of burden, not very dissimilar from India. A lot of people for their primary care also go to hospitals. So the government is actively facilitating telemedicine, e-consultations. And that's putting a lot of emphasis on innovation, AI-based technology models. Fundamental changes are happening in the technology space. I think if you look at the doctor-patient interaction, it has worked the same way for the last 100 years. Now technology has started playing a role to add productivity layer on top of that, make one doctor capable of seeing a lot more patients a lot faster with more quality. So we are seeing very, very exciting changes. I think healthcare as a system or as a industry is going to massively move towards the patient-centric, personalized, preventative model. All of those are, I think we've always dreamt about those things, but it's now becoming real, and we are seeing early stages of innovation all over the world. And this is one area where India is not behind. So we are, I think, keeping pace as the world is changing, and we intend to lead the way if we can. The one interesting part about India is most of healthcare is actually consumer-led. So consumer pays for their healthcare, the insurance or the public spend is lower. So what that means is there's a bigger opportunity to make models that are more consumer-centric. One can understand in US, China, it's the public health or the insurance models that determine what gets delivered. In India, it is the patient who's the payer, the patient who's the receiver. So I think India is going through a very fundamental change, probably faster than most people realize. There are, of course, a lot of challenges. Health is a state subject, center and state sometimes have different views. Policy changes take time. Innovation in a regulated sector by definition is a challenge because regulation tries to keep things one way. Innovation wants to change the way it happens. But I think fundamentally we are moving in the right direction because the government appreciates doing things the same way or copying the models of West and trying to replicate them in India will never work. India will never meet its doctor to patient ratio. It will never have roads going into or access to healthcare for everyone through the physical channel. Technology has to play a way. So I think I'm very optimistic right now that India is on the right path. Like with most other things, it's slower than what one would like, but at least the direction is right. So see, 1mg is today India's largest digital health platform, and what that means is, or rather how we started it's a very interesting journey. We started as a transparency initiative around medicines because what we saw was in India, the consumers want to learn a lot more about their healthcare, but there is no source they can trust. Doctors don't have time, pharmacists are almost non-existent in the pharmacy shops, and consumers were looking all over internet for information and getting more and more confused. We created 1mg as a transparency platform where you can get information on substitutes you could save money from, side effects, interactions, how to use a medicine or not. And people started flocking to this platform organically. Today we have more than 100 million monthly page views on our platform. In the medical category, almost 40% share of the traffic is ours. And we got a lot of love from consumers who are seeking this transparency. So when we saw that happen, that's when, so the business model came after the consumers were using the platform. Then we started thinking, what more can we make out of it? And then for me, the idea was very clear. Healthcare makes sense as an integrated service where your pharmacy, your labs, your doctors, everything, your health records, everything is in one place and has context of each other. Easy to do on a digital platform. In the physical format, all of these are different single transactions. So I think keeping patient at the center of healthcare, creating a platform where they can get all their information, products and services, that's what 1mg does, and we have been pretty fortunate to lead the industry on that. So I think in healthcare there is opportunity to make almost every experience better. So we are first actively building out our pharmacy, our labs, and our telemedicine platform. We want every Indian in the country to access this platform. Multi-language, we are already in 6 languages, we'll expand that as well. So one is just growth of the existing services. Secondly, as I mentioned, we are doing very fundamental work on technology and data sciences. So artificial intelligence based models to create a doctor assistant that can make a doctor way more productive. We are working on that. We're working on outcomes based data models in healthcare, fundamental work. So one part is the transactions and the delivery business. The other part is technology and fundamental data sciences, which are going to change healthcare in, I think, in the next 5 years.